Welcome to Withdraw Consent. I'm Victor. This is Jack. What's on the agenda today?
Okay, so we were doing a video about the Federal Reserve. I'm going to link in the description. If you haven't seen it, you should go watch it. But in it, we found this, this info table, and it was very provocative in that it showed an extreme amount of Jewish influence in the Federal Reserve. And so I had that, overlaid on top of the video. But then at the bottom of it, it said, hey, go to our website for more info tables. The website is called jewishcontributions.com. And so basically we thought it'd make a great video if we go look at all the wonderful Jewish contributions that have been made to America.
Okay, seems reasonable.
So first we're going to talk about the site, right? So let me bring up the first screen. This is from the site, and it's Jewish Contributions Recognizing Jewish Excellence. Basically, it's saying, and it's just claiming that this is a pro-Jewish website. And at the bottom, it says, Jewish Contributions has one ultimate goal. We debunk anti-Semitism by showing that Jewish influence is making our world a more prosperous and more inclusive place. Okay. So then if you go to about this website, it has a whole screen, and they claim that they're Jewish run. I'm not sure if that's true or not. I have no evidence of that. And they're showcasing Jewish achievement, basically. And then at the bottom, they said, are there any similar websites, which you can go to jewornotjew.com, which I went on. That's a thing. And so basically, we're just going to go through some of these info tables that they've produced and see what. And so you haven't seen these except for the Federal Reserve one. Right. And one other I sent you because I thought it was hilarious, but we'll get to that one a little bit later. Okay. So let's go to the first one. Okay, so this one is meet some of the brilliant Jewish minds behind the distribution and creation of life-saving vaccinations. Then it goes to CDC leadership of the Center of Disease Control.
All right. Yeah, so it's showing 2, 4, 6, 7 people, it looks like. And 4 of the 7 are Jewish.
And these are all historical directors.
Oh, historical. Okay, yeah. So the 14th, 16th, 19th, and current are all Jewish of the CDC. And then what is the bottom showing?
Vaccination development and pro-vaccination activism.
Okay.
So these are historical people who've been, like, for example, Jonas Salk. I remember that name.
But the people that have pushed vaccines.
Right. And it's not that vaccines are bad. We're just talking about, they're claiming, hey, like, don't be anti-Semitic because we've had a big, huge hand in the things that the CDC has been doing.
Look all the good we've done.
Right. Okay. And so if you're pro-CDC, you're pro-Jewish right now. Good for you. Okay. And if not, go to the next one. This is meet a few of the Jews keeping humanity safe and healthy amid the deadly COVID-19 pandemic. So there's a list of all Jews, and I just want you to read their positions.
Okay, so there's 9 of them across CDC and various companies. We've got the director, deputy director, chief of staff of the CDC are all Jewish. The President Biden's COVID czar is Jewish. At Pfizer, we have their CEO and their chief scientist are Jewish. Moderna, their chief medical officer. At Regeneron, their CEO is Jewish. And Rachel Levine is
Assistant Secretary for Health and Human Services. It gets a little small right there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Fun fact, Dr. Anthony Fauci, the chief medical advisor to the president, who is not Jewish, was awarded Tel Aviv's University Dan David Prize for $1 million for speaking truth to power amid the COVID-19 pandemic.
Who was the power he was speaking to? I feel like everyone in power was on his side.
He got money from Israel for doing. Gotcha. That's just the point of it. It's a nonsense statement. So the point of this one is that if you really like, experimental medical procedures, the government working hand in hand with these big companies, if you like the big pharmaceutical companies, then Jewish people are helping America out in a substantial way.
Right.
Okay. And still don't know if this site is satirical. These are factual info tables.
Real stuff happening.
But I don't know if they're being mean here. It just depends on your view. Like if you're like, yeah, I got my 4th booster today. Okay.
Great.
Jewish people helped you a lot. Let's go to the next one. Okay, meet the Jews staffing some of the most important nominated positions in President Biden's administration. Do you want to read their titles?
Yeah, I think so. So we've got...
Wait, let me interject. So people of Hebrew descent, descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, make up approximately 2% of the population. So for every 100 people in the White House in positions of authority, if you're being very equitable, we'll say, there should be 2 out of 100.
Okay. And is this, when they say Jewish contributions, is this ethnic or religious Jews? Do we know? Or it could be both? Or?
Okay. So on that second about page, it said people of Jewish faith. So we're going to get to a page and it's going to be a Black Lives Matter founder, one of the 3, spoiler, and she is a genuine Black lady. Her stepfather who raised her is Jewish and she supports the Jewish faith. So we're going Jewish faith here.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so these are all they didn't get voted in. They were just nominated by President Biden. So we have Secretary of State, Deputy Secretary of State, Undersecretary of State. So those are 3 people that deal with foreign affairs. We have Secretary of Treasury, Attorney General, Secretary of Homeland Security, Director of National Intelligence, Deputy Director of the CIA, White House Chief of Staff, the Director of the Office of Science and Technology, and again, we have the Assistant Secretary for Health.
Okay, and there's some big names on here. Because if you watch the news, so Secretary of State's Antony Blinken, he was just recently involved in the thing where he was going to go to China and then canceled his thing because of the spy balloons. You have Victoria Nuland, who she became infamous for something recently. And Janet Yellen is the terrible Secretary of the Treasury who's laughing about the inflation and stuff.
But she came from the Fed, I think. I think she ran the Fed before this job.
I would totally believe you if that's the case. Because we're going to get to the Federal Reserve.
Gotcha.
So we'll check for Janet Yellen.
I know Merrick Garland has said amazing things, too.
He's terrible. If you want Law and Order and Justice Company, Merrick Garland. Great. Anyways, so let's just go on to the next one.
Okay.
So is there a lesson to be had from here?
Well, there are a lot of Jewish people contributing.
Right. So if you really like the job Biden's doing.
And also way overrepresented. Going back to your 2.5%.
In everything. In everything that we're going to show you. Not in everything.
Right.
Not in like what job do you do? They're not represented in that job. They're underrepresented in that job. Say you're a carpenter, an electrician. Right. Okay, let's go. Meet some of the Jews who founded the most popular dating and hookup apps in America.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we have 2 guys that made Tinder or were part of, let's see, one was a co-founder. Oh, yeah, both of them are co-founders of Tinder. We have one lady who founded Bumble, and we have Joel who created Grindr.
Okay, and so basically the point of this info table is the Jews have really helped America by creating Tinder, Bumble, and Grindr.
See, it's kind of so hard to think that this isn't satirical. Just all the articles I've read that these sites are terrible for human beings as far as finding meaningful relationships.
Terrible for America.
Yeah.
For individuals, for communities, for families, they're terrible. So, and you might be remembering some guilt right now from, some Tinder, situation. Yeah. I don't know, But this is the one that I was looking at and I was like, oh, this is satire. This is true. But I don't know.
But if you're all in the hookup culture and all that, maybe you look at that and, oh, these guys are great. It's never been easier to find women.
Right. And I do find it interesting that they source the website at the bottom of each one, because I feel like you might find one individual one of these that is really like, oh, I'm pro this. Like say you're on like a pro experimental medical procedure website, sure, and then you see all these Jews helped in the CDC and Moderna. That's great. But you don't want to link them so that they go look at all the other things, but they're really promoting like, look at all the other things we've done.
Right.
Okay.
Unless it's satire. Just keep coming back.
Or unless it's just an unbelievable, like where you're not even connected with reality.
Right.
Just no idea what like an American human being thinks. Hundreds of millions of them. Democrat, right, Republican, white, black, brown, male, female, right, young, old. Okay, next one. The adult film industry in America came to exist and was allowed to flourish thanks almost entirely to the works of Jewish trailblazers.
I don't think we're going through all of this.
There are so many names.
It's 7 by 4, so 28 different people.
Yeah.
And some of them are black and white pictures, so it's obviously, I'm assuming, that this was a long time ago that this started.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I haven't read this entire thing. I was looking for names I memorized. I kind of want to read that quote at the bottom, but I don't know if I should. Goldstein, what do you think?
That whole thing? If you want to, yeah. I mean, it's just a quote.
This is Al Goldstein in an interview with Luke Ford, an adult film reviewer who converted to Orthodox Judaism. Okay, so he's talking about another fellow who's a convert to Judaism. He said, the only reason that Jews are in pornography is that we think that Christ sucks. Catholicism sucks. We don't believe in authoritarianism. Pornography thus becomes a way of defiling Christian culture, and as it penetrates to the very heart of the American mainstream, and is no doubt consumed by those very same WASPs, which are white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, its subversive character becomes more charged. Porn is no longer of the what the butler saw voyeuristic type. Instead, it's driven to new extremes of portrayal that stretch the boundaries of the porn aesthetic. As new sexual positions are portrayed, the desire to shock as well as to entertain seems clear. Listen, it's satire, the site. It's gotta be. Because if you really liked porn, right, and you came and you looked at this and they're like, wow, yeah, Jews, Jews are awesome. Yeah. They help us get all the porn. And then you read that and you're like, oh, but I'm a Christian, my mom's a Catholic, just any of those things. WASPs, did you know what WASP meant?
That was the first time.
Okay. Yeah. They're doing skin color, white, Anglo-Saxon as your ethnicity, Protestant as your religion. You know?
Oh, okay.
Largely based on the Jewish Quarterly article, Triple Xthnisk. That's not even a word. Xthniks.
Yeah, I don't.
They're like on the video. They're like, "What are you pointing to?" If we had the video on right now, I don't know. Right. Nathan Abrams on Jews in the American porn industry. Okay, let's just go to the next one. Right?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay,
I
ridiculous.
have no idea what to think.
The most popular animated series, Big Mouth, was mostly created by Jewish people.
Okay, so I have watched this.
Okay, good, because I have not. Good.
Yeah, I had a friend that was way into it, and I was at their house, and they watched 1 or 2 episodes. And it's all just like sexual stuff with kids in high school. Oh, that's animated. Awesome. Like it's so uncomfortable. So this is 4 people who are apparently co-creators. Oh yeah, co-creators. Yeah. Andrew Goldberg, Nick Kroll, Mark Levin, and Jennifer Flackett.
Okay, so interesting. Yeah, so like, remember you asked, is it religious or this and that? Mm-hmm. So on the Jennifer Flackett one, it says, although she may not have been raised as a Jew, she and Mark Levin are raising their... Is that Mark Levin from The Conservative? We got to look that up later.
Okay.
If you're not interested in looking it up, I'll put a note down there with a link to see if that is, because that would just be interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's healthy, you're saying? It's promoting...
Yeah, definitely. If you're into promoting sex to underage kids, then... Okay.
I knew it was bad. I'm glad you've at least had some... I'm sorry for you, too.
Yeah, very uncomfortable.
But anyways, if you like Big Mouth, then Jewish contributions.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next one. The Soviet Politburo, founded in 1917, was the highest policy-making authority within the Communist Party of the Soviet Union. Of the 7 members of the first Bolshevik Politburo, 4 were Jewish.
So was this the beginning of like the Soviet Union, or did that come later?
Yeah, this is the beginning of this.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the formation after the revolution.
Okay. Yeah, so it's got pictures of all 7 original members. And so Lenin was a quarter Jewish. Leon Trotsky, apparently full Jewish. Grigory Zinoviev.
Don't even try it.
Yeah, that one's tough.
I know Lev over there. I've seen some stuff from him. And then Joseph Stalin, non-Jewish. We're not going to try to read the other names.
Okay.
Let's not do it.
They're rough.
But so do you think that would be like a fair representation of the Russian people, maybe?
Probably not.
It's over half.
Yeah,
So imagine, I don't know how the Soviet Politburo worked, but imagine that they just made votes where they need a 4 majority out of 7.
They get it.
They get 4 1/4.
Right.
Anyways, so if you think that the establishment of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union was great, there was a strong Jewish, that's good.
Interesting.
That's good. Okay. And I mean, can I just tell that story just a tiny bit? Okay, so here's what happened in the Soviet Union. They said, we're one people, we're one nation. You're not allowed to speak any other language, Russian. You're not allowed to worship any other religions than, what are they, atheists? I don't know. No idea. And so they made all these rules, and this is how you have to, or go to the gulag, right? And they said, oh, but if you don't want to speak Russian, you can also speak Yiddish, because that's what people of Hebrew ethnicity and Jewish religion spoke at the time, because Hebrew wasn't back yet.
Oh, okay.
It was a dead language at the time. It was only read, but now it's spoken in Israel. And they're like, okay, so you can only do what we want religiously unless you want to go to the synagogue. Oh, so there was all the rules to oppress the Russian people. And then the Jewish people had absolute freedom and control. So I mean,
Interesting. So they kind of had a country before they had a country. Well, they were running a country at least.
yeah, it went well. Do you know where it ended up going?
I mean, where the Soviet Union went?
No, the Jews in the Soviet Union.
I'm assuming they went to Israel after they created
No,
the country.
the Russians turned on them.
Oh, did they?
The Russians realized what was going on and returned on them. I would actually like to research this more. But what happened is they had a mass immigration trying to get out because they were then getting oppressed because they're like, nah, you've ruled us for decades. Everything's in the trash. We just need to get rid of you all.
So this is before or after World War II?
Oh, this is after World War II.
Oh.
I believe it's Stalin doing this. It might be the guy after him. I'm not sure. And then they had like these people who were called like the refuseniks. And then they were like Jews who were needed to get out of Russia to avoid terrible circumstances, but then they refused to leave. So they were the refuseniks. It was a whole thing.
Wow.
Anyway, it's just a little funny story. Let's go to the next one. Okay. Oh, this is the Federal Reserve one. Great. Okay. And there's Janet Yellen. Okay. Within the 5 decades from 1970 to 2020, Jews headed the Federal Reserve for over 38 years.
So 38 to 50, which is not 2% of the time.
Right. 2% of the time is 1 year.
Right.
Okay. So 38 times the purport. Okay. And then the top half is chairs of the Federal Reserve. The bottom is vice chairs. And then you see those little gray parts. That's where non-Jews were involved. Do you see that?
Oh, okay. So it's strings of Jewish people and then a non-Jew. And
right.
Another string.
Right. And so, I mean, I don't know how old you are watching Alan Greenspan.
Yeah, I recognize the name. But
right. Ben Bernanke.
Oh, decades.
Janet Yellen. And so currently there's Jerome Powell because Janet Yellen's in the Treasury because she transferred over. This is Jerome Powell's non-Jewish and he's in there. And then on the bottom, the vice chairs. Oh, look, she was vice chair too, Janet Yellen.
Oh, and then got promoted, in 2014.
Okay, so she went vice chair to, that's how that should work, to Department of Treasury. Right. Legit. I don't even care about your ethnicity or anything. That shouldn't happen.
Right.
Ever. So if you like the Federal Reserve.
Right, they do good things.
Because this is like, probably some great leadership, probably.
Probably.
Economy going great.
Yep.
Okay, next one. Out of the top 25 U.S. hedge fund managers of 2020, 18 are Jewish.
Wow.
Yes.
That's amazing.
So 18 of 25.
Just the overrepresentation is incredible.
It is incredible. So we don't really need to go through these names because I just spoiler, the next one's going to be in 2021.
Oh, okay.
So we're just, we're just glancing at this. And so it's like, these are just hedge fund managers. So they're just controlling where your 401k or somebody else's is being invested in, which means that they just have all the power.
But it's like 75% of them are Jewish.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Okay, let's go 2021. Same thing. 17, down 1.
Oh, man.
Man, I really want to just go back and forth and see what the difference is. Is Soros on this one? Yep, Soros is still on this one. He was on the last one too.
Okay.
Anyways, okay, 17 of 25. Okay. So if you're a fan of 2% of the population controlling the Federal Reserve, all of your money and stuff like that. That's
right. The White House.
Yeah. All the things. Yeah, then that's good too. Okay, let's go to the next one. This is the one I was telling you about.
Oh, yeah.
Alicia Garza, one of the 3 co-founders of the Black Lives Matter movement, grew up as Alicia Schwartz, which is funny because Schwartz
is black.
It's black. You're right. Weird. It's got to be the stepfather's real name though, because they couldn't have nicknamed her that.
Yeah.
That was just. So I'm not cool with that. So she grew up as Alicia Schwartz with her mother and Jewish stepfather. To this day, Garza identifies as Jewish.
Interesting.
So she's one of the 3 founders. They're all black women, and she's religiously Jewish.
Was she the one that was buying the houses?
I don't know. I'd be really interested in knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just no idea. I'm just not. Her name is the most. I've never heard either of those other names.
Yeah, I'm totally with you.
Okay, next one. Modern feminism, especially in America, was largely pioneered, influenced, and led by Jewish women.
Again, this is another giant grid. This is 30 women.
Yeah.
And okay, so all of these are Jewish, and it's all varying time frames. I mean, there's some from the 1800s to the early 1900s was their lifespan. So just people pushing feminism for a decade and a half, I would say, on this list.
Yeah, Naomi Wolf, I recognize.
And feminism is great.
Right. There's different waves of it. It depends what. I honestly now want to go to that. At the bottom, it says head over to the website to learn more. JewishWomen'sArchive.org /feminism. I kind of feel like I want to Just go look at it just to see what kind of propaganda there is. So yeah, if you're pro-feminism, cool, large Jewish. Okay, next one. Oh, this is the one I sent you. This is great.
Oh yeah, incredible.
All of President Joe Biden's children are married to Jews. Keep in mind, Joe Biden and Jill Biden are not Jews.
Okay.
So therefore, their son Beau, deceased, their son Hunter, and their daughter Ashley are not Jews, but they're all married to Jews.
And also, Kamala Harris's husband is Jewish. Wow.
Oh, so his previous wife wasn't. So neither of his wives have been
Right.
Jewish for Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the daughter's married to an older man. He's 15 years older than her. Yeah. And then, yeah, like you said, Kamala's husband, Doug Emhoff, is also Jewish. Okay. So 100% of the partners
Right.
of Joe Biden's kids and Kamala Harris herself
Right.
are Jewish. Okay.
It's amazing.
And then what was Ivanka's husband? Kushner, the worst.
Jared Kushner. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a Jewish fellow and pushed Trump to make some terrific decisions.
Yeah.
Okay. Next. Out of the top 27 donors to the 2020 U.S. general election, 17 were Jewish.
Wow. So this isn't even just a one side. This is they're colored at the bottom.
Yeah. So okay. So blue's Democrat, red is Republican.
Kind of 50-50. I mean, it isn't overwhelming one side or the other.
Because they're supporting a uniparty.
Yeah. No. It's interesting.
Right. And so, okay, so number 2 was Michael Bloomberg. We know about him. And number 1 was Sheldon and Miriam Adelson, who I've never heard of. They supported Republicans. But like I just want, so the top 3 are Jewish. Okay. So the first one is 218 million. Sorry. Bloomberg, 152 million. And then Thomas and Taylor, 72 million. And then add up the money on all the rest of them. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Right.
It's going to be close that the top 3
Right.
donate more than everybody else. Not that, you of course, all the Jewish people,
Right.
you know. Just count up the money of the non-Jews. Look at that. That's 182, 10, 240, 260, 80, 300, 330 approximately million for all the non-Jews put together of the top 27. And the first 2 got them covered.
Wow.
That's amazing. Plus all the others.
Yeah.
So anyways, if you're a big fan of the uniparty and people dumping tons of money, I don't know how this is legal.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry.
crazy.
In the new system, after this system is torn down and all the bad people are gone, this is not going to be a thing.
Okay.
My goodness. Modern American libertarianism was largely pioneered by Jews.
Wow. Interesting.
Excuse me.
So this has 5 people. Various backgrounds. It looks like most of them aren't around anymore, except for one. But just libertarianism is the act of not doing anything against the people in power. I mean, it's just, they're really creating something that allows, if there was a group of people in power, you're segmenting off a group that will never fight against you.
Right. Don't tread on me.
Right.
Okay.
That's amazing.
So if you're a big fan of, I just won't even go into it. We're going to have a video we're going to post one day. It's called, Is Libertarianism a Solution? We'll see that in the future. Okay, next one. I just don't want to go too far into that one. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, Facebook, the largest, most powerful social media company on the planet, was founded primarily by Jews. Many of the most important leadership positions at Facebook are also held by Jewish people.
So we've got a list of 5 founders. 3 of them are Jewish, including Mark Zuckerberg. And then we have current leadership, which is like COO, head of Facebook Messenger, head of Instagram, and chief revenue officer are all Jewish people.
And the only name I recognize is Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
So if you think that Facebook is protecting your data and everything, then large Jewish contribution to that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Government's not spying on you.
Definitely not. Never.
They definitely didn't cancel a program the same year that Facebook
DARPA,
came out.
Right. They totally didn't do that.
Right. Okay. So let's see. Out of the 8 Ivy League universities, 7 have Jewish presidents.
What?
That's at 87.5%. Wowzers.
I thought they weren't in charge of everything.
No, it's probably random. Okay. So basically, I don't think we need to go too far in this
Yeah.
one. Don't know any of the names of these people. Know the names of all the universities.
Sure.
You know them. If not, you can read. Wait a second. Okay, I just wanted to see. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so the one that's non-Jewish, Philip Hanlon of Dartmouth, it says, despite being non-Jewish, Hanlon's presidential inauguration was led by an invocation from the school's Hillel rabbi, Edward Boraz. Okay, interesting. Next one. Meet a few of the Jews who played notable roles in Mao's China.
So we've got a list of 7 people. It's not real clear what all their positions are. Let's see.
Like this guy's Solomon Adler, a U.S. Treasury representative in China during World War II. Anyways, just whatever.
Yeah, just that there was an influence. Again, another communist country that had Jewish influence.
Yeah, this is nowhere near, though, the level of influence of the Soviets.
Yeah, the Politburo, that's a whole different thing.
Right. This is just showing intellectualism. Okay. Nuclear weaponry is pioneered by Jews, from design to advocacy for proliferation, largely for the purpose of defeating anti-Semitic and fascist-aligned regimes. Boy, I love that sentence.
Wow.
That's beautiful. Oppenheimer was a
Interesting.
Jew.
And Einstein.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I recognize any other names here.
Oh, Enrico Fermi. He did Fermi's paradox. He's the only one who wasn't Jewish. And it says, while Fermi himself was not Jewish, he fled Italy in 1938 to protect his Jewish wife. Wowzers, Laura Capon.
Wow.
So guaranteed of these couples, 100% of them have at least 50%.
Yeah.
So if you say that I don't know this, but if you say that all the Jews on the thing had a couple and then you numbered them by couples, so what is that? 10, 20, so 19 out of 20. Okay, that's great.
Yeah. Wow.
Many more Jews have made countless contributions to the field of nuclear research. You can learn more about Jewish contributions and find more sources. See at jewishcontributions.com. See, they're just plugging this. So okay.
But there's more on the site than just these info tables.
Right.
This is just like...
And then there's individuals. Like, we're going to get to an individual one just because I want to pull it up because it's so funny, you know? And But yeah, you can go look at, like, okay, if you go to the site right now, assuming we publish this today, which we're not going to, you got to edit it. Anyways, it's going to have it's got info tables on one side and it's got like character profiles of individual people, you know? And the one right now is Ghislaine Mack.
Oh, nice.
Father.
Oh, nice.
Because he was, you know, pro-Israel and he was in MI6 and
Yeah.
terrible. And he's on the front page because he's the newest one. I thought that's interesting. Okay, let's go to the next one. So if you're a big fan of proliferation, largely for the purpose of defeating anti-Semitic and fascist-aligned regimes, like imagine though, it's like we're making nuclear weapons in case somebody dislikes us for our disproportionate role in your society. We'll nuke you.
But it's never been used for that ever.
It's never been used for anything.
So strange.
But they're claiming that was the reason why. So they could nuke the fascists or nuke the anti-Semites.
Gotcha.
And anybody who does anything more than don't tread on me as a fascist. So let's go to the next one. Here we go. This is the individual profile, just because this is great.
Okay.
Larry Silverstein is a businessman who is the founder and owner of Silverstein Properties. On April 16, 2001, he finalized and negotiated a bid to lease purchase the World Trade Center. The bid was accepted on July 24, 2001, just 49 days prior to September 11th attacks. So this is what the individual workup looks like.
Okay.
Close friends with Benjamin Netanyahu.
This is one he made a ton of money off of the towers being destroyed.
Yeah. So he got an insurance policy right before they were destroyed that covered terrorism. And then basically he said, hey, I need the insurance money. And then they're like, okay, we'll give you the insurance money. He says, I need it twice. 2 terrorist attacks. So we got, let's see what this, a collective face amount of $3.55 billion. Sought to collect double the face amount, which is $7.1 billion. His total capital was at 4.577. He made billions of dollars off of this. That's just insane. Right before.
Wow.
And this dude, does it say it on here? It doesn't say it on here, actually. But he's current CEO of BlackRock. No, been CEO for decades of BlackRock.
Oh, really?
It's either BlackRock or it's Vanguard. It's one of the big ones.
Okay,
one of the terribles. And he's just decades he's been in on that. So anyways, I just want to throw it on there. Like, if you think this stuff's good, then yeah, it's cool. Okay. Now, this one's a little more obscure, so I put it at the end in case you would have clicked off right now. The Frankfurt School, originally known as the Institute for Social Research, was a school of social theory founded in Weimar Republic, Germany, 1918 to 1933. Okay, so basically it's a Frankfurt School of Thought, and it was basically all Jews. Mm-hmm. And they were there to say that anybody who wasn't a Hebrew by blood, there's no differences in biology, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So all races are equal unless you're Jews, which they have their own thing and they're not equal. They do their own thing. You know, it's the same thing as Russia, you know? And so they're pushing diverse societies, multiculturalism. This is what they're just creating theories around this. They're saying that like real science isn't science because of cultural effects and just stuff like that. So it's okay. So they're applying this to critical race theory, which is a long shot, but it does come from that. Anyways, and then after Hitler came to power in 1933, they moved to Geneva and then New York City in 1935. Okay, kind of obscure, but we do mention Frankfurt School, so I thought I'd throw it in there.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, meet the Sackler family. Do you know about the Sackler family?
No, I've never heard of them.
Okay, notorious American family of medical entrepreneurs, best known for their role in widespread distribution of opioids in the United States. Okay. So they founded Purdue Pharma and Mundy Pharma. Okay. And then basically, so they made $3 billion in profit every year through their pharmaceutical companies. They filed for Chapter 11 in 2019. 2020 reached a settlement worth $8.3 billion, admitting that it knowingly and intentionally conspired and agreed with others to aid and abet doctors dispensing medication without a legitimate medical purpose. Wow. Okay, so they'll pay an additional $225 million. Basically, what happened is they made billions, right? And they pushed the opioids, you know? And so like one of the stories with them pushing the opioids is they would put the opioids on the soccer mom, you know, for just nothing.
Yeah.
Like nervous disorder, opioids, you know? And then what would happen is she would get addicted to the opioids and she would have side effects from the opioids.
And give them more drugs.
They need more they need to up the dosage, you know?
Okay.
And so that it was a scandal.
Wow.
There are so many doctors who knowingly did this who should be tried for treason.
Yeah.
I mean,
or crimes against humanity or something.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah. Like something really bad. There was really nefarious. And so basically what happened is at the end, and it's got numbers on here. I don't remember the exact numbers, but basically they said, hey, we're suing you. You owe us billions of dollars. And they said, cool, we'll sign that deal and give you billions and billions and billions of dollars if you say that this is the end and we just live our lives now. And they just walked away with billions and billions of dollars. Wow. They gave up a chunk and said, hey, we're done. So meet the Sackler family. Wow. If you're a fan of the opioid epidemic.
Yeah, great contributions.
Yeah, I believe we're at the end. Oh, no, we're not. Now we're at the end. You want to go with that last one?
No, I'm just trying to still figure out the satire. How can this be a real page? How can this not be satirical?
Yeah, I know. I agree.
Because there's nothing good on this.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. Let's go to the next one. I agree. But we're talking about factual stuff, so whatever.
Yeah.
Sounds value. Okay, the Hollywood 10 were a group of 10 individuals cited for contempt of Congress regarding their affiliations with the Communist Party, subsequently blacklisted from producing films in Hollywood. Out of the 10 individuals in the Hollywood 10, 6 were Jewish.
Okay, yeah, I don't recognize any names on it.
Yeah, this is old stuff. This has happened a long, long time ago. So this is, McCarthyism and stuff.
But it's still another connection to
That's why I wanted to throw it on there. It's communism in America. So if you support communism in America, then this one's great. And then that's where we're at.
Wow, it's incredible how, you hear, it's Kanye, saying how they control stuff and you just maybe shrug it off, whatever. But you see these lists, it's incredible how overrepresentative they are.
Right. Now let's do like lawyers and let's just go.
Right. We didn't even hit some really big things. We didn't get into media, production companies, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So that's just what we're presenting.
Yeah.
It's just interesting to look at, I figure.
Yeah. A very interesting site to go through and see something interesting.
And if you want to follow up on this, like if you go to the beginner's website and click about, it's got that link to Jew or not Jew. That's kind of interesting. Okay. Because it's got a list of people and not all of them are Jewish. You can click like Hillary Clinton. It's like, and they get like a Jew rating. Like, you know what I mean? Like how, like a 9, I think, is like really like you're really Jewish, Okay. And like, a 1 is you're not Jewish. Anyways, there's this other thing. You want to tell about the technological thing?
Oh, it was called Coincidence Detector. Yeah.
And where do you find that?
You find it. I mean, you just search for it,
Okay. Okay.
and you have to manually install it because it's not allowed on your browser, like
Okay.
extensions stores, because it's obviously evil. But it puts parentheses around names that are Jewish. So as you're just like reading a news article, you can see
Yeah.
real easily if there's a Jewish influence on things.
Right.
It's very interesting.
And so I put this on recently, and then I went to JewOrNotJew.com, which I think I was on once in my lifetime before, but I have not been on it. And it spoils it because it's like, I clicked on politicians, like lists all these people, but then they're all just like, and then it's got a break where they're don't have the parentheses, and you could just easily see a list of people.
Wow.
And it's like, who was it? Margaret Thatcher. Like people are on there, and I'm like, what the heck, you know?
Wow.
Anyways, so that was pretty interesting. Another funny thing that happened is, just as a random story, is that we got a comment on a YouTube video, you know, and they said, oh, that Emily Coors crazy lady, you know, was like, that looks like a young blah, blah, blah. But it was in parentheses. And I thought they had put the parentheses in the YouTube comment. I'm like, what the heck? You know, I'm telling my wife, quick, look at that on your phone and see, you know, because I just thought that would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyways, so just food for thought here.
Yeah. Just looking for patterns and, you know, trying to figure things out.
Yeah, and then figure out what values you want, and then who's promoting those values, or the 100% exact opposite of them.
Right.
That's all we got.
So I hope you enjoyed this look into this website, and let us know if you have any thoughts. We'll see you next time.